recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Barthold, for being here. For 53 years, the tax code banned religious, nonprofit, charitable, and related organizations for engaging in political activity. This bill strikes that standard. Last week, you were kind enough to explain the cost to my office. Can you explain this $2.1 billion price tag to the rest of the committee?
Certainly, Mr. Lewis. What you're referring to for the rest of the members is the modification to what some people call the Johnson Amendment, which is a prohibition on political activity by religious organizations. We've estimated a revenue loss from the relaxation that's contained in H.R. 1 under the as introduced. That's really based on what's been happening over the last let's say 15, 20 years, and what people under present law can deduct and what they can't deduct as a charitable donation. Over the last 15, 20 years, as I think we're all aware, there's been substantial growth in contributions to political organizations. As a general rule, those contributions are not deductible. The proposal would say that certain political activity may perhaps now occur in religious organizations, and we think that that would give some incentive, in fact it's very small, for some contributions that might currently go to what would be non-deductible political organizations, that there might be a shifting or an increase, a little bit of diversion of those contributions to certain religious organizations. If you make a contribution to a religious organization, it's deductible, and that's what leads to the revenue loss. So it's a diversion of some of the substantial growth in political contributions into a deductible form. It's not deductible today.
Well, thank you. The new market tax credit is a lifeline to many communities and cities across our country. Whole cities like New Orleans, Macon, Georgia, Savannah, suburban Atlanta, even in the center of Atlanta, neighborhood like Emmett Park, the West End, Ansley Park, and Cabbagetown rely on the historic preservation tax credit. This bill in the program. What is going to happen to these historic places?
Mr. Lewis, as you noted, the legislation would prospectively repeal new allocations of the new market tax.
So are you saying there would not be any new resources, new tax credit for these historic places all across America?
There's no replication of the current law benefits. It's not modified. Those provisions would be repealed.
Finally, what about real people? There seem to be many parts in this bill that are just plain mean. It punishes teachers, the disabled, seniors, students, immigrants, and the list goes on and on. Does this bill do anything to help those who was previously penalized in the tax code, like artists who cannot claim deduction for donating their work, American Corps volunteers, and other people working in volunteer programs?
As I noted, Mr. Lewis, there are many current law deductions and credits that are repealed. You noted several of them in your question just now.
You're back.
Gentleman yields back. Mr. Thompson, you're recognized.